Just get an update here from Demi. His opponent is a Skytoss camper, apparently. So we are going to be jumping in instead to this little PvT, Exostriker versus Spear, kicking it off on inside and also out, where in the top right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner, we have our red Terran player coming down from the land of Korea. He is, of course, going to be representing Clan NV, but currently teamless. He is Spear. I was holding in my sneeze. I thought I could hold it. I thought the sneeze had passed. I thought the sneeze had passed.
Yaku, if you have to sneeze, just take a moment to yourself, okay? You don't gotta power through it, Papi. Oh my god.
It's called commitment.
The players aren't going anywhere.
Commitment.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Inside Now, we have the Russian Protoss player. He is yellow, representing Alpha X. It is Exostriker. Oh boy, here we go. Well, we have our own series. Again, Demi as well as Azura are going to be beginning shortly off stream, unfortunately. But again, first come, first serve. We want to try
shortly, quote unquote.
Yeah, they still got to do their vetoes and all that. But yeah, we want to kind of provide as much coverage as we can. And even though Azura versus Demi would have been amazing, these players are ready first. And I want to see how this turns out. Whenever Koreans go up against Europeans, I'm always excited. I always want to see how they shape up.
Yeah, a little bit of a clash of styles that always goes on there. And, I was entering Spear, and I saw that he was going for an earlier second gas, and I got kind of excited. But then, I noticed Exostriker immediately throwing down that pylon across the map, going for that Stargate. And I think we're going to see something a little bit wackier coming out from at least this map, Lloyd.
So this is going to be crazy. So we see a 2-gas opener here from Spear. Because that is going to delay his CC, he's going to be prioritizing his 1-1. Sorry, his 1-1. Almost said 1-1-1, but yeah, the factory is going to be coming out first, so he's going to be a little bit more aggressive. The first Reaper gets across the map, and this Reaper, if he gets into the main base, should recognize that a pylon is missing. I say that, but for now, it is forced away by this depth.
Yeah, he's trying to sneak in. He's trying to sneak in back. Yeah, he's trying to jump back into the main, and that will be enough of a tell. I'm really curious as to what he produces from that factory, because the Cyclone can definitely just shut down Stargate proxies.
Oh boy, it really can shut it down, and already Spear should recognize he was able to count and scout the entire main. A pylon is missing, tech is missing, you took your gases, something is wrong here. And he is going for a Cyclone first. It's already rallied here into his main, so it will be here, but will it be in time? Because that first Oracle is going to be coming soon.
Yeah, I mean, you have 2 Marines out here on the map already, but come on, what are 2 Marines going to do against an Oracle? It's got a lot of health on it.
Yeah, and they're vanilla Marines as well, but there we go. The Cyclone comes out just in time. It's already in position. The first Oracle is going to rock up, and it's going to do nothing.
Immediately turns around, taking quite a bit of hull damage as well. Exostriker gonna have to cycle back and really rethink how he wants to play out the rest of this map.
Yeah, exactly. An unfortunate start here from Exostriker. The proxy itself was never scouted, but Spear opened up safe after seeing that something was wrong. He assumed that it was going to be a proxy Stargate, and he assumed correctly. The Reaper is going to get cleaned up, but at least he does confirm the position, and later on he can try and depower it.
Yeah, that's a little unfortunate of a start here for Exostriker. He doesn't really... I mean, he can't really make use of that Stargate anymore. Maybe he can pump out one more Oracle or a couple of Phoenixes, but he knows that that Stargate is pretty much forfeit eventually.
Yeah, pretty much. We say that, but he actually doubles down.
Hang on. Hang on!
He doubles down.
I'm liking this a lot.
He throws out a second pilot and a gateway, mate.
I like Exostriker. This is a Protoss player who knows how to commit.
Yeah. Ladies.
I was half expecting to see a Dark Shrine get thrown down after the Twilight Council, but no, it is just going to be Blink.
It is
for
just
his stalkers.
yeah, I mean, with this gateway, it means that if anything ever shows up here, he can warp in defensively and try and make sure it does stay alive, it does survive. Meanwhile, that Cyclone is headed in that direction. It looks like, yeah, the pathing-wise, it is looking to maybe even try and depower the Stargate, but Exostriker is now moving out. Gateway-wise, we have 3 gates. No, we have 4 gates, and we have Blink.
And the probe does scout that Cyclone, so the stalkers are immediately going to turn around to try to deal with that. Spear, at the very least, will confirm, hang on, why is there a gateway here? Why are there 2 pylons here? I gotta play this out even more defensively than I thought. And that's kind of difficult to do when you lose your Cyclone.
Yeah, and there's a couple of unfortunate realities right now. After that Cyclone died, we do see a 3-Rax follow-up. What this means is that there is no tech lab on the factory, which means 0 tanks right now. Tanks are usually the backbone, the pinnacle of defending against Blink Stalkers, and right now, Spear only has pure bio.
Yeah, I kind of do like where he's positioning his bio. He can go back and forth between his bases a little bit easier, but there's still a lot of blind spots that Exostriker can take advantage of.
Yeah, like this one, the first bunker already going down here. It looks like it's going to cost him 1 Stalker. Thankfully, Stim is done for Spear, and even though he lacks tanks, Stim is a massive tool that he can use and really punish any kind of aggressive Blink.
Like... Okay, not this Blink. There's no Blink right now. But, you know, potentially, if there was a Blink straight into the main.
Yeah, I mean, Exostriker has eyes on the entire army with that revelation, so he can make a choice, and he chooses to expand instead. We have a 3rd base on the way, so for now, Exostriker is content to just contain his opponent here to 2 bases.
And this is something that you really shouldn't underestimate the effectiveness of as a Protoss player. This is not just containing Spear on 2 bases, it's also really slowing down his +1 timing push.
Oh, it really is. I mean, +1 is still on the horizon. We did see a medevac pushed away, but thankfully every single unit survived, so that is going to be able to meet up with the rest of the army as well, as we do see Spear moving out across the map with Stim, with combat shields, and with concussive shell.
This is a very potent bio army coming here from the Terran player, especially with no AoE like Colossus or Disruptors for Exostriker. A couple of DTs do rock in, but we have a counterattack.
Yeah, we do have that massive counterattack here from Spear, but he runs into a wall of Protoss. The DTs across the map are all going to get cleaned up. Looks like, never mind, we actually have 1 DT wreaking havoc here in the main base. We don't have WCS Game Heart, but the DT gets 8 SCV kills.
Oof. Nope. That's about going to even out that worker supply, but that drop here from Spear, I was wondering why I didn't meet up with the rest of the army. It is because he decided to prioritize multi-prong attacks.
Exactly, go straight into the main base. He was able to get a couple of probes as well. Oh my god, 16 in total have gone down this game. Must have gotten quite a number here in the main base, and as a result, the probe count, the worker count, is looking quite even. Up.
Plus, look at all this lost mining time here from these probes that just weren't mining at all. Finally, this drop will get taken care of, but yeah, once again, Spear able to even things out, arguably even a little bit ahead because of mules. But there is triple Nexus production, so I don't want to underestimate that.
Yeah, there's a couple of like pros and cons here, right? Because the CC just now finishes at the 3rd base location. It's still not an orbital, so we don't have as many mules as we would like, right? Meanwhile, we do have Exostriker with 3 Nexuses with triple Chrono. So yeah, it's kind of interesting how this all plays out. What I'm most worried by is that Exostriker still hasn't been able to tech up again to splash damage. Not yet. The first Robo is on the way. As soon as it's done, I'm sure we're going to get a Robotic Spade, but again, we just don't have any Colossus or Disruptor to speak of.
Yeah, Swarm Toss, Mass Gateway style can be effective in PvT, but only if you are really able to overwhelm in terms of RB supply. Right now, I'm looking at the RB supply slide, and it's not exactly overwhelming for Exostriker.
It really isn't. I mean, we don't even have that many gateways, to be honest. We still have only 4 gates. Like, Exostriker doesn't really intend to go Swarm Toss. Like, I don't think that's the plan here. He does have a decent army, as he's been able to slowly build it up over the course of this game, but he is going to get outscaled pretty soon, as we have a triple drop going into the main.
And immediately it's right on top of this Robo facility. Exostriker, he knows he can't defend more than 1 location at once, so GG is called. Spear will be taking game number 1 of this best of 3 series with some very effective multi-prong attacks.
Oh yeah, GG. I mean, I felt like the DTs were dealing some decent damage, but the Stalkers were really struggling there against the Mass Bio army. Yeah, and as you were saying, like, he was kind of being pulled apart by all of those drops. We'll try and make sure we get the BCS game hard for the next game.
Yeah. That way we don't have to count.
True.
Data? No, wait, that's a different series.
It's all good. It's all good.
Speaking of that different series, yeah, we do have another update here in the bracket. The Maga has been able to take out Najisu 2-1. Really?
Oh.
That's a series that went all the way to the ace match. I've never really seen much of Najisu before. I think I've seen the name around before, but yeah, pretty cool to see that he was able to take it all the way to the ace against a player like Namaga.
Yeah,
who's not going up against Beastork.
Yeah, very historic, very veteran player in the scene. It's really cool to see that Najisu was able to pull that off at least. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to cast him yet, but, you know, one day, 1 week, I'm sure we will. As you called it, day to see. That's the next
There we
round.
go. Haha! Brain power.
Uh-huh. Shaking my head. Oh, boy. As we are following our series here.
Yes. I should give stock advice.
Should you?
But it's all based on just mistakes that I've seen in the morning.
Oh, God.
Anyway, we are going to be continuing our series now onto Data Under the Sea, where everybody comes on and slams. We're in the top right-hand corner map, spawning all the way. In the top right-hand corner, we have our red Terran player coming out from the land of Korea. He is currently teamless, but representing that clan Team NV, which is a clan, not a team. He is Spear.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Data Under the Sea, we have the Russian Protoss player himself representing Alpha X. It is Exostriker.
Who had a proxy not quite go his way in the previous game, but I definitely appreciate his commitment to the aggression after that got scouted.
Yeah, it was a shame how the builds kind of shaped up against each other. You know, I'm sure Exostriker was hoping it was going to be just a one gas Rax expand from Spear. If that was the case, then the Oracle would have dealt damage. It would have done a little bit more for him. Unfortunately, just because of how things happened and because of Spear's scouting, he was able to just get a Cyclone ready in time, and yeah, Exostriker did fall a little bit behind after the initial opener.
Yeah, you really see how important it is to really keep the Terran economy down when you're going for a build like that in the early game. Because Spear, he was able to get his medevacs, his upgrades, his bio units completely unhindered after that. A little bit surprising that he didn't go for that much factory production after the Cyclone. I mean, he got, I think, 2 or 3 mines, and that was about it. 0 tanks, but still, that's the power of bio, man. You can absolutely just stack up more and more and more supply and just overwhelm your gateway Protoss opponent.
Yeah, and it looks like he's doing something very similar here. Likewise, he does open up double gas, but he pulls out of gas pretty quickly after the opener. He is going for a factory, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see a CC after this. And interestingly enough, we're not going to be seeing an add-on switch either, because again, the factory is so far away from this Rax. It looks, again, to be a little bit more bio-focused.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if we see Mech in a TvP, but at least the openings are going to be, like you said, a lot more focus on getting bio units instead of going for any sort of major harasses across the map. I mean, for the most part, he's just going to try to power through with Hellions and Reapers, it seems.
Yeah. I guess what I was getting at is that we shouldn't really be seeing, you know, again, like a commitment into tanks so far or anything like that, or even a Widow Mine drop. Instead, we're going straight into a tech lab here. I imagine this is going to be, again, for a safety Cyclone. The Reaper was able to sneak in and did confirm a Twilight Council opener.
Yeah, so he knows that it is going to be Blink to start things off with. I mean, do we really see Charge first anymore in PvT?
Only for weird all-ins.
Yeah. And this is definitely neither weird nor an all-in coming from the side of Exostriker, so yeah, Blink is a very safe bet.
Yeah, exactly. The Reaper's just going to dip on in, confirm that it is researching, so now he knows, again, just to make sure there is no Dark Shrine or anything like that. We do see, though, that Spear is playing it safe. In case it's proxied, he will have that Raven back at home as well to defend, to provide that detection.
Yeah, and you know what? Even if he doesn't need that detection earlier on, that Raven's going to be super, super useful when he pushes out eventually. I'm an advocate for Ravens.
Oh, yeah.
You should always get them.
They're amazing, you know. They have disables to deal with the Colossi. They have anti-armor missiles to deal with Swarm Toss. They have auto turrets to harass across the map as well. There's a reason why it's actually quite popular nowadays to go into that Raven.
Yeah. And from here, we're I'm keeping my eyes open, lad. I'm used to Sparkling Tuna Cup being a tournament where players just throw out weird stuff, but instead, we're seeing a completely normal and standard TvP coming in this matchup. Well, standard-ish. We did see a double gas opener from Spear.
Yeah, and we can see, like, once again, he has the same end goal here as he did in game 1, but he got there a little bit differently. I think this is a little bit more efficient from Spear. If you remember, he has only used his factories and even Starport just for add-ons production, just so he can get into Stim as fast as possible. This game, it's going to be even faster because he didn't waste any tech lab time on the factory to build the Cyclone, because he saw he didn't need it because there was no Stargate, there was no Oracle.
Plus, on top of all of that, ADC is a much shorter rush as it's mapped than Inside and Out. So, yeah, we should see Spear pushing out and hitting quite a bit sooner. But, on the flip side, Exostriker, since he didn't go for any weird proxies this game, is going to be able to tech up a lot quicker as well. He is already getting charged, and his Robo facility is about halfway done. Will he be able to have a Colossus or anything like that out by the time Spear hits? We'll see.
We shall see. I mean, this is a much faster robo compared to the previous game. We do have a Raven going into the main base. Very quick reaction from Exostriker, but we didn't even have a turret thrown down. So very nice kind of patience here from Spear. At any moment, he can dive in and throw down that auto turret.
Yeah, Spear, definitely from these two games at least, I'm slowly remembering his playstyle again. Very multi-prong focused. He isn't really looking to use that Raven for any sort of auto turret buffer or any disables or anti-armor missiles by the looks of things. He just wants to set himself up to be able to hit 3 points at once. Call him Trident instead of Spear. There
you go, mate. There you go. It's very fitting that we happen to be under the sea and he is using that Trident, mate. Call him Aquaman, papi. Let's go. Jason Momoa himself. Oh god, as he's gonna go for a little bit of a drop here into the main base, the auto turret is gonna be thrown down at the natural as well. So here come the 2 prongs and here comes the third as the main army is pushing out across the map.
Honestly, a very small supply push, but it does make sense with what Spear is going for with his multi-progs. There aren't too many gateways that currently have warp-ins by the looks of things. A little bit inefficient here from Exostriker, and unfortunately, that is going to be the end of his run because Spear tridents his way to a 2-0 victory. That third prong didn't even connect yet.
It didn't. It was still on the way towards the third. I was afraid that maybe we missed like a fight or something, but no. Like the army values were still solid. It was just Exostriker was failing to react in time, and because of that, he saw the writing on the wall that one drop in the main was going to deal a little bit too much economic damage, was going to kill so many probes, and the road to recovery there was just going to be a little bit too great. Wow, what a fast series. Jesus.
We got 2 of them already.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And just like that, Spear already finds himself in the semifinals. We will be casting that later on, and where he will face either Beastork or Demaga.